What's happening, everybody? Aaron Jackson here, aka Rotation Report. This is not financial advice, and definitely not these days. Holy shit, the way this tape is trading, my God, yeah, who knows what the fuck's going to happen? Uh, it's an interesting time out here. Definitely would say it's a bit of a character change in the market. But one thing I really wanted to lead off with was there's some news out today. Amazon, they're doing a debt offering. Why? You guessed it, to fund their AI investments. They wanted $12 billion. Well, they got $80 billion in bids, including for like 40-year bonds, right? So it ended up upsizing it to 15 billion because why not? People want to take, they want to give you money. You might as well freaking take it. But the story of the day, obviously, it's the Bitcoin breaking down again, but interesting, an old level in play here, 91K, 89K, something like that. It's bleeding out. It's probably going to continue to bleed out, but it's interesting, right? It's been more of a stair step lower. So do you want to really short it here? Do you want to bet on it to go lower here? Probably not. Maybe you get 89K and then a bounce and then you short it to the mid 70s K. Okay, that's kind of interesting. But we'll see how that goes. And let's see what we've got next. Yes, the regional banks. Yeah, we thought everything would be okay. No, not really. Not really. If people are going to look for cockroaches, that's a problem. The whole system is designed so no one looks for any cockroaches. No one challenges anything. They just see tight credit spreads and they just keep on keeping on and just ignoring everything. But now people are looking for trouble and they are finding it. Don't like this action in the regional banks at all. You can definitely say the situation is worsening here. But then let's go back to our trusty, handy little semis, NASDAQ 100 and software triple chart here. Looks like they're all holding up. Semis holding 50-day. Ooh, NASDAQ 100 closed below it for the first time. You don't love to see it. Tomorrow will be interesting. Going to need the market to not bleed out tomorrow. And then software still holding the 200-day around that old support. So big day coming tomorrow. And some of the tech held up better. And frankly, in a lot of these spaces, like, your Oracles and that, everyone's already panicked out of that stuff, right? There's not too many sellers left, but if the whole market's kind of bleeding out, hard for anything that big to go up. And just a reminder, look at the 10-year US Treasury yield just hanging out near generational highs here, 20-year highs. And I'm looking at some of the breadth data. I've got a watch list of hammered stocks that's like down more than 4 or 5%. And it's just, hundreds of stocks, endless list of stocks. And, there should be, capitalism is an interesting thing. Like the idea behind capitalism is, companies die off. They're supposed to die off. It's just, for the last, 15 years post-great financial crisis, the economists were like, what if we made it impossible for shitty companies to die off? And so now we got companies dying off for the first time, and it's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly, but we just got to be chill. Probably banks are going to fail. That's going to happen, and we just have to manage risk, stay calm. But all in all, like, you want to get inflation down. Shitty companies going out of business, that's great. You take the workers from a shitty company that's doing nothing, they're failing, and then you put them into a more productive business. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. And, there is another character change, the fear in the tape. I'm seeing some definitely more concerned people, more, negative sentiment. It's kind of interesting. We're getting close to seeing some more better fear readings in the tape. I'm looking pretty good up here. And then, we're keeping an eye on the data center trade, the washout, Microsoft. It's holding the range, but that does not look great. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but it looks like a source of funds to somebody, doesn't it? Oracle held pretty well today. The prior low after bouncing off the 200-day Friday, this nice little pivot area. I don't know. Looks like it's shaping up. Are we really freaking out about today's price action? No, absolutely not. So, and there's the Amazon, kind of interesting. Just another one of these tech stocks. You have the big earnings gap and you just give it all up. But this is the old lid, the old trend line breakout right there. Kind of held on that good news today. So kind of interesting. I think if we're looking for anything in tech, you want bigger, higher quality, no doubt about that. And then we have data center power, Bloom, I think did a nice job holding the 50-day moving average. You can say, oh no, it's topping out in the next week. It rolls over, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it just gets its shit together and bounces into the end of the year. And then we have CoreWeave. Ooh, down 2.5%. Not too bad given the bloodletting in some spaces, but you know, still still not exactly what you want to see. You're going to need to see a reversal day there, no doubt about it, if you want this bullish scenario to play out. But it could, or it could just break down tomorrow. We'll see. Fabrinet, we talked about this Friday. Yeah, still holding the 50-day, leading optical component name, networking name. It's good. And so yeah, an update on gold miners versus the S&P 500. That is gold miners now outperforming by 108% year to date. My God, huh? How about that? So, you want to make a bet for the end of the year. I predict gold miners will predict the S&P 500 this year, but I think eventually as we move into 2026, that this gap is obviously going to close, possibly be a multi-year low. We will have more on that in the coming days and weeks on the rotation report, the Substack, the blog, whatever you want to call it. And then here's Intel, another one. Okay, closed below the 50-day, just right there, right at the old support. We'll see. Looks like the next couple days are critical. You can definitely say this is the bottom. I mean, is it? Will it be? Probably, maybe. I don't know. And then Kratos, we're looking at all the defense tech stocks trying to hold up at old high areas. Not breaking lower, but not giving you a lot of confidence either. And then Nvidia, another one. Boy, Jensen, his little performance is coming Wednesday night. Better bring it, bro. Better bring it. 50-day holding, but don't like all of this over here, but time will tell. And then Solaris Energy. Oh, yeah. So for the Rotation Report Substack premium subscribers, I do a piece every now and then on the earnings roundups, and you just go through the earnings calls and you listen to what the companies are saying, and you get a trend to develop, and then it gets really interesting. So Solaris over here, they had a comment. It was like the CEO has anxiety because they have so much business. Okay, I think the pipeline is enormous. There's just so much activity. It's frightening. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. So everyone's trying to poke the holes in the AI, and it's like, okay, take away some of their business, take away half their business, take away 2/3 of their business. They still got, more business than they don't even know what to do with. So, it's one of those things where it's like multi-year trend, and let's have some weakness. Let's have some bear market action. Let's get some pullbacks because, you get everyone believing the bear story, and then you get a nice pullback and everything washes out, and it takes some time, but then eventually you get another awesome opportunity. But I mean, it's still holding the 50-day moving average here. So you could definitely see the scenario where you don't even get that sweet bigger washout to about 30, 32, something like that. So, keeping an eye on it. Time will tell, but the bottom may already be in here. And then, the problem remains the high beta and the momentum. You can just see kind of a top there, breaking lower, down another 2% today, new low. It can get worse. It can all get worse. Snowflake, we've talked about that, holding through 50. Not too bad. CrowdStrike still holding up. So could be worse out there. But Tesla, they want to call it a leader, huh? Well, that looks like a leader that's breaking down, and then a back test of the breakdown. Again, this should be top of the watch list, even if you want nothing to do with that. It looks like it's vulnerable to just absolutely rolling. And then we tried to give Coinbase a chance. Let's see how it closes the week. Down 7% to start the week. Not inspiring, right? But, give it the weekly close. Copa Holdings, this thing is Latin America Airlines, which, okay, looking pretty good here. Looking to buy dips. And then, South Korea. Yeah, so that's basically a giant AI trade masquerading as a country, right? It's Samsung and SK Hynix, memory maker. But you can see it's like a lot of things. It's blown through the 2020 high here, and then now stopped dead in its tracks on the back test of that high zone. So definitely makes you think this tech trade can roll over. And then we've got the broker dealers and the recent IPO index. Remember last week they tried to break the broker dealers out, even though IPOs are breaking down? No, no, not going to happen. And it's not going to, like you can say it bounces, but it's not going to work unless the IPOs start working as well. And then there's Jeffries, king of the cockroaches, freaking another one, trapdoor. You break through the pre-great financial crisis high, and then this week's high, bang, trapdoor shot right at that high, pretty vulnerable to lower. And then, but broker dealers, Goldman Sachs, they love the open door, and open door did hold up pretty well today. It broke the recent downtrend, now holding up above. So, it's all right. And then we've got pharmaceuticals next up. A lot of people love the pharma. They just can't get enough of the pharma after it's already gone up in a straight line, 10% in 2 weeks. So people love the pharma, but it's kind of stupid to chase it up here at this 2024 high. Probably going to sell off. Probably going to trap all those. If you want safety, just go to cash. Just go to cash. It's a lot safer. And then next up, the Bitcoin miners. Boy, that thing. Ooh, really broken down. You can see it's kind of dead here. Kind of dead. Would not be surprised if you get a couple more days of bounce and then roll over. Not looking into any of these Bitcoin miners at this point. And then, Michael Saylor, he says energy is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is energy, whatever. Yeah, we'll take the energy stocks, thanks. So basically, if you take like most assets versus Bitcoin, you will see they are going fake breakdown of the 2021 lows here. So it's like, semi, software, anything, gold, all of them. They all look like this. You've got you think you're going to go lower, and then actually you want anything else over Bitcoin. So, we'll call out trades in Bitcoin. You can trade it, but end of the day, does it even exist? It's a good question. And next up, financials, market weakness is spreading. People are blowing up. Things are rolling over. There you go. Financials, head and shoulders top from the summer. 1, 2, 3, 4+ months breaking down. Be nice if it reversed tomorrow. Could use a good turnaround Tuesday. But so far, you don't love to see that. And then the industrials, they gave you hope at the close. That's about as much as you can ask for. But bigger picture is this thing could really roll over tomorrow, but the economy is pretty strong. The industrial economy is cooking. Okay. So, if the market's going to hang in there, this holding up would be a great sign. But then again, it is a stock. It is a stock market. And then there's Alibaba. Let's see. Friday, it was weird. They had some news come out that they're, working for the Chinese government. And of course, they're working for the Chinese government, whatever. And then last night, their new AI model came out, or their new chatbot came out, their OpenAI competitor. So definitely getting close to looking for the bottom in Alibaba in the China tech. It could all be one massive fake breakout there over the last 3 months in the China tech, or it could just be the bottom in an uptrend. And I kind of think bottom of the uptrend until proven guilty. And yeah, all right. So that has it. Does it for today. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And if you like the video, do me a favor and like the video. And until next time, trade them well, friends.